Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My name is NURUL IBTISAN binti Abdul Aziz. I am from TESL B1 and today I'm going to present about post-independence. Firstly, I'm going to talk about Rahman Caliph Report 1960. In order to speed up the process of national integration and unity, the Rahman Caliph's report was made to review the education policy in 1960 and became a basis to establish the Education Act 1961. Rahman Caliph's report support the Razak report and became the basic to the formation of National Educational Foundation like stated in Educational Act. Now, here are the content of the report. Firstly, Malay language as main language in schools. Next, free secondary school education, automatic promotion until Form 3, emphasis on religious and moral education, stress on 3M basic education, membaca, menulis, mengira. Next, stress on a strong spiritual education and desired elements of discipline, stress on the Malayan curriculum, upper secondary education of two streams, academic and vocational, opportunity to continue education from 9 years to 11 years, and last but not least is facilitation of education management procedures to improve the overall quality of education. Now I'm going to talk about Education Act 1961. The Education Act 1961 was enforced in Malaysia and it was created based on the Razak Report 1956 and Rahman Caliph Report 1960. The Act is a mandate to create a nationally patterned education system which focuses on making the Malay language as the main language, having the same core curriculum for all schools in Malaysia, and to ensure all students take the same public examination. Here are the level of education. The first one is primary level, the second one is lower secondary level, the third one is upper secondary level, and last but not least is educational institutions and college. So for primary level, it is compulsory for every children and it is given for free without any fees. For Islamic Studies, the minimum number of students are 15 people. The students are being taught by trained Islamic teachers and it is being held at least twice a week during school hours. Now I'm going to talk about Aminuddin Baki Report 1964. In September 1955, Encik Aminuddin Baki has been involved in preparing the Razak Education Report. In 1960, he was elected as a member of committee in preparing the Rahman Report. The school that has been proposed by the Razak Report was started in 1962. However, it did not get any responses from the parents. Thus, the school was abolished in 1964. Here are some of his contributions. Firstly, he was involved in the drafting of the Razak Report and Rahman Caliph Report. He also suggested that Malay language should be mandatory language in schools. He established public examinations to replace Cambridge examinations, and he was also active in cultural activities. Now I'm going to talk about Cabinet Committee Report. It was established on 1974. The main purpose of this establishment is to study the implementation of national education policy through the education system. Other than that, it is also to see whether the education system has succeeded in producing disciplined and well-trained society or not. Here are some changes that are suggested by Cabinet Committee Report. Firstly is for primary school. Primary school curriculum should be designed to enable students to achieve skills in three basic areas, namely communication, humanity with the environment, and individual development, which includes educational aspects. The curriculum had to be structured to enable weaker students to master basic skills and more advanced intelligent students. Provide remedial education for weak students. If they are too weak, they are allowed to repeat the year of study. Last is to improve teaching merits, teaching aids, and provision of teacher for remedial education. Now, for lower secondary school, the curriculum must evolve from the primary school to strengthen basic education. Students are being exposed to technical and vocational fields at the lower secondary level extensively. Criterion reference test, which called Ujian Rujukan Kriteria, was being introduced in this level, extending the schooling period from 9 years to 11 years. Priority is given to enhance the standard of education in schools, especially in rural areas. Now for upper secondary school, abolish major fields and provide general education, increase the number of vocational schools, vocational education need to prepare students on how to enter the job market as skilled workers, conduct practical training in factories so that students are able to adapt to the requirements of the enterprise sector. All candidates are eligible to take SPM examination after 2 years of sitting for the XRP examination. The last one is for Form 6 education. Educational patterns need to be reviewed so that students that are majoring in science are given opportunities to gain exposure in fields that are related to literature and vice versa. All private schools need to use curriculum of the Malaysian Ministry of Education for all school levels until they are in Form 5. Also, students are required to take the same public examinations that has been organized by the Malaysian Examination Board. Now, I'm going to talk about Education Act 1996. It aims to abolish Education Act 1961, introduce new laws on education to implement a national education policy based on the national education philosophy. The purpose of this are firstly is to improve Malaysia education system. Secondly is to expanding the scope of Malaysia education. And the last one is to provide opportunities for educational improvement. This Education Act also provides opportunities to improve preschool education, college education, special education, private education, and also technical education. Last but not least, I'm going to talk about Educational Development Master Plan PIPP 2006 until 2010. It was being introduced to implement a progressive education system, and it aims to ensure that every children in Malaysia have a lot of knowledge regarding employment provision, to provide skills such as communication skill and ICT skill, to train students into creative thinking and act rationally in every situation. So this is the hot question. Do you think that by implementing new Education Act will help to improve education system in Malaysia? State your reasons. That is all for my presentation today. Thank you very much.